We are going to go over some APA 7th edition basics. Specifically, we're going to talk about in-text citations. So let's start with in-text citation. Every in-text citation should have a matching item in the reference list. And the idea behind in-text citations is that they point your reader to the corresponding item in the reference list. And then your reader can use the information in the reference to access the original source of information. The basic format for an in-text citation is the author's last name and the year of publication. If you're using a direct quote, so not paraphrasing or summarizing content, but taking word-for-word quote, if the quote is less than 40 words long, you'll use quotation marks around the quoted content and include the page number or numbers in the in-text citation. And you can see these two examples here, Washington 2017, page 199, versus Vargas 2019, pages 199 to 2001. So theoretically, the Vargas quote would have spanned multiple pages. You format that with the PP and then the page range for the quote, and all of that goes into the parentheses. Quotes of more than 40 words, you would indent them in block quotation format, and you would not use quotation marks. And we'll look at examples of what all of these things look like in a moment. When you're citing a document that has multiple authors, there's a couple rules to keep in mind. If the document has two authors, you'll include the last names of both combined with the ampersand, and then of course the year. If you're citing a document that has more than two authors, include only the first author followed by et al. So you can see here, Kernis et al., period, comma, and then the year. Now, let's say you have multiple articles from the same year where the first author has the same last name. So that could be really confusing for your reader. So you'll want to include maybe the second author and the year in that case. So you want to make sure that your in-text citations are unambiguous and clearly point to the correct item in the reference list. So let's pause for a moment and take a look at in-text citations in an actual paper. Let's take a quick look at the Purdue Online Writing Lab sample paper, and you can find it by going to the library's homepage. And then if we hover over Guides and Tools and select Citing Sources, you land on a page that has a lot of really helpful information about citing your sources and some tools like RefWorks and Zotero that can help with citing your sources. We're going to go straight into Guides to Citing Your References, Purdue OWL, and then we're going to click on APA Style. So there's a lot going on this page, and I just want to point out some helpful stuff. Within this left-hand side pane, there are a lot of resources for help with specific questions about in-text citations, help with your reference list, a lot of good information here. We are going to look at the APA sample paper, and specifically, we're going to look at the student sample paper. So let's bring that up now. So here we have a fully formatted APA 7th edition compliant paper. So let's take a look at a few in-text citations. So I'm going to scroll past the title page, scroll past the abstract, and here we go into the actual body of the paper. So we can see in the first line here, there's an in-text citation where the author of the original source's name is in the signal phrase. So that is totally one way you can format an in-text citation, having the author's name in the sentence as opposed to within the parentheses. And since this is a direct quote, which you can see here, they include the page number as well. Now we have kind of the more traditional Lewis 1996 in-text citation. And then if we scroll down, we see an example where there are multiple citations. So the student used multiple sources for this one section of their paper. When this is a case, you need to put them all within parentheses, organized alphabetically, and separated with a semicolon. And now let's take a look at how to format a direct quote of more than 40 words. So in this case, the student has included the authors and year of the original source in the signal phrase. The direct quote itself is indented ½ inch, and at the end of the quote, the student has included the page numbers. Notice there are no quotation marks around the quote. The fact that it is indented is what indicates that it is a quote. If the authors and year weren't in the signal phrase, as they are here, it would be totally fine to include them in the parentheses at the end of the quote. And one final example, when citing multiple sources from the same author, simply list the author and then list the years of the sources separated by a comma, as you see here. Thank you for watching this brief video on in-text citations in APA 7th edition format.